Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. This is the girl Ginger and Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny, and if you want to get formal, because Miss Jennifer Frederick, another edition of Let Me Talk the Thing. People, today is Wednesday already. The week is almost over. Just now is World Steelpan Day. Then we have Independence Day. Time and tide waits on no one. However, I just wait on my feet. So let me start it right now. You know, we have our order here, right? We must play the pledge. You know, we don't stick with that.
I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I will honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, and my elders, and those in authority. I will be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. I will strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country.
So people, let me start the show one time. If you're on Facebook, to my Facebook peeps, I'm seeing Christopher, Rosalind, Gloria, Sharon, Angela, and everybody will come in a bit. If you're on Facebook, please like and share. Don't keep it to yourself because you all here because you all really like the things that I'll be saying, right? And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, to Bounce Up Central, so that you could keep getting notifications, so that when the program is on, whether it's Dauntless Defenders, Fine Point, Let Me Talk the Thing, whatever it is, you'll be inside. So let me start the thing. Let me start the thing nice. This brother who died recently, I really didn't get chance for assistant condolences to the family because it just took everybody by surprise. We grew up seeing him on the Huxtables and Theo, and we grew up with that whole Huxtable family, the whole, not the family, and it was such a sad thing to hear that he would have passed under those tragic circumstances. But he would have done this before, and I'm paying tribute to him with this that he would have done. Listen to it. This is the late Malcolm Jamal Warner.
It was Martin, Malcolm, Huey, Alvin, Marcus, Richard, Jesse, Adam, Carlin, Gordon, James, Philip, Nat. Showed them not to play with us. Duke, Langston, Thurgood, Robert, Hank, Jesse, Jackie, Muhammad, Paul, Stokely, Mega, Webb. About 3 Benjamins, a good 2 Freds. Women like Harriet, Rosa, Ida, Shirley, Sojourner, Madam, Maya, Mary, Bessa, Ella, and Retta. Even baby Ruby was out here applying pressure. Gail, John, Booker, Sid, George, nuts if you don't know who he is. Beyond, Charles, Roy, Carter, Cecil, just for drinking them white folks' water. All kings and queens, yes, for real. Until the ones that we lost, like Emmett Till, and all those is here, we gon' continue to hold it down. Say it loud, black, and I'm proud. Say it loud, black, and I'm proud.
Yes, so that is Black and Proud, naming those soldiers, those ancestors, those who walked before, those who would have contributed as people of African descent, person of African descent, in whatever way he would have named them out there. Most of them will be African American because that's where he's from. But at the end of the day, we are one family. So again, just that little tribute there to Malcolm Jamal Warner on his passing. We lost a good one, a good actor, a good soul. So in the vein of that, because I'm still celebrating African Emancipation Day, which was the 1st of August, I also want you all to listen to this.
Buried Black Queens, Dr. Gladys West, the hidden genius behind GPS. Dr. Gladys West, the black woman behind GPS. Can you believe this? Every time you use your GPS, you're standing on a black woman's brilliance, and most people don't even know her name. Every time you check your GPS, ask Siri for directions, or track a delivery, you're using technology created by a black woman. Her name is Dr. Gladys West. She was born in 1930 in rural Virginia, picking tobacco in the fields as a child. She went on to study mathematics, one of only a few black women in her college. In the 1950s, she was hired by the U.S. Navy, one of only 4 black employees on base. There, she worked on complex satellite data, and through relentless calculations, no fancy computers, she developed the mathematical model that became the foundation for GPS technology. Yeah, that GPS, your Uber, your Google Maps, even your AirTag, all made possible by a quiet, brilliant black woman who stayed behind the scenes. But you never saw her in the tech textbooks. No documentaries, no TED Talks, because she wasn't white, because she wasn't a man, and because America loves the product, but buries the source. She was finally recognized by the Air Force in 2018. Let that sink in. We've been using her math for 40 years before we ever said her name. Dr. Gladys West didn't just help build technology. She mapped the entire world, and they tried to delete her from it. If Dr. West deserves a monument and not just a footnote, drop a line in the comments and remember to like, follow, and share for more buried black queens.
Say it loud, black, and I'm proud.
Say it loud, we're black and we're proud. We're not all grass cutters, and nothing wrong with being a grass cutter, because if you see the state of this country right now, yeah, and if it was cutting cane, it was a grass cutter, because cane is a form of grass also, from the grass family. So I just want you all to understand the history we came from. You were kings, you were queens, you were mathematicians, you were scientists, you were physicists. Yeah, we run things. They bring enslavement, chattel slavery. That changed things, but they can't keep a black man down because black dog crap. And we're doing it, and we're doing it all the time. It is in our DNA. Things we don't forget, it imprinted there. Brilliance is there, intelligence is there. I'm not saying that other ethnic groups are not, but I'm talking about me. I'm talking about we today, right now. So I'm not discounting the progress and the excellence and the brilliance of any other race. This has nothing to do with that. I'm just speaking about being black and proud, all in line with African Emancipation Day. We're still in the month, and just now is World Steelpan Day, 11th of August, the only musical instrument created in the 20th century, and it was done right here by people of African descent. So yes, and it came out of that whole chattel slavery enslavement era, straight down to where we are at right now. So be black and be proud. Don't feel afraid to say that at all. It does not make you racial. It's only ignorant people will find that I-talking race. Yeah? It's only people who all up in their feelings and want you to feel like we's nobody will find I-talking race. But when they speak about their ethnic group, them alone proud, them alone hardworking, them alone deserve this and deserve that. Because African people deserve anything, and I'm telling you, we black and we proud and we deserve everything like everybody else, because we were born equal like everybody else. We want equity because that was taken away from us, and it's no fault of ours. We didn't ask to come here. We didn't run from a continent to come to Ireland. No, that was a choice made for us by the wicked and evil slave masters, colonial masters, just like what they're taking on Columbus, the biggest damn nasty liar. Yeah, take it down, put it in a museum. You want to see the colonials? Go in a museum and watch it. We want to see it on the streets, right? So let me continue. So I'm seeing here that the TTFA gets $6.8 million to help with its campaign for World Cup. You know, we have a game coming up soon. People go out and support our Soca Warriors. We go in this time, you know, we coaches Dwight York and his whole technical crew, all them youth and them the son. We making World Cup this time, eh? We go in World Cup, eh? Okay. So go out and support them as the game come along. You all go buy your tickets, get involved. So I'm seeing here, the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association, TTFA, has received a check worth $6.8 million towards preparing the Soca Warriors for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign. The Ministry of Sports and Community Development made a commitment to the team in November that they would receive US $2 million over a 2-year period. After the first payment, another $1 million is expected to be distributed in 2026. On January the 2nd, the TTFA received the first payment. A sports company of Trinidad and Tobago media release said the Honorable Minister of Sport and Community Development, Shampa Kojo Lewis, Deputy Permanent Secretary Beverly Reed Samuel, and Head of the Sports Development Unit at Sports TT, Justin Latapi George, presented a $6.8 million TT check to the TTFA President, Kieron Edwards, to support the men's national football team 2024 to 2025, year one. Journey to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup hosted across Canada, Mexico, and the USA. The Soca Warriors will resume the World Cup qualification campaign against St. Kitts and Nevis and Costa Rica in June 2026. So that already passed, right? Let's rally behind our team as they aim for glory on the world stage, release said. Right, so this release, 6.8 million, released Friday the 3rd. So this was January the 3rd. But it was very important to speak about because we're in the World Cup and we want to know that our coach, our technical team, everybody, and the players are well taken care of. They don't have to be worried about where the next meal coming from, where the next dollar coming from. They must be comfortable to know that they are being taken care of so that the mind will only be on football. Okay, so I thought it was important to read that. All is a story that passed a little while ago. Let me continue. I'm seeing also that Zimbabwe, what about Zimbabwe? So this was, it said 3 hours ago. CNC3, Zimbabwean officials are studying elements of Trinidad and Tobago public administration system as part of a visit aimed at strengthening their country's governance framework. Led by STEYN, so I don't know if it's Steyen Berajina, Chief Director in Zimbabwe Office of the President and Cabinet. The delegation met with Chief Personnel Officer Commander Dr. Darrell Dindial and senior staff at the Personnel Department on August the 5th. The study tour, coordinated through the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, included presentation on public service frameworks, digital integration, legislative reform, and budgeting practices. The visitors also examined how technology is used locally to improve transparency, efficiency, and citizen engagement. Dindial said exchange provided practical and honest insights that could support Zimbabwe's reform efforts and welcome the opportunity to build closer ties between the two countries. The Zimbabwean delegation described the session as informative and said several of the strategies discussed could be adapted to their national context. Future collaboration is expected. Oh yeah, wait is I hearing here? People coming from all across the continent to come to Trinidad to adopt We public service, we administration, we technology and all that. That had nothing to do with UNC. Because in the 3 months, they must did them fire about 20,000 and all kind of comments back, and that would have been under the People's National Movement. So what do we that for? I go keep asking all of that, what do we that for? Because everything the People's National Movement put in place, everybody running on top of it, normal. So what about them out for? Look, Zimbabwe don't get a copy we public service. Imagine that. Hey, all they get tied up, all they take chain up talk. Where did it get us? Where did it get us? So listen to this one, recently, Independent Senator Timol would have died, and let me tell you, think family send condolences to the family, but one of the independent senators who said he was a good friend of the late senator would have said his death may have been attributed to the stress that independent senators came under when the Prime Minister pension bill was being debated. And we would have seen in the newspapers and all over the attacks that came against the independent senators by the UNC members of parliament. It was very harsh, it was uncalled for. And when I tell you, I understand, it is not hard for me to understand if what independent Senator Viera is saying about the pressures that Senator Timol was under. It's not hard for me to imagine that, because I have a really good friend of mine. She's biracial. Mom is Indian, father is African. So she grew up in the Indian community. So she has first-hand knowledge. They're not easy. They will gang up on you to get you to do what they want, or to get you to stay silent, or whatever. The good could gang up on you and they could ostracize you. And the N-word is used liberally. But I'm talking about in terms of the pressure. I could understand what independent Senator Viera is saying. If it happened, I could understand that pressure. Because I think I remember, if I'm not mistaken, former Senator Renuka would have spoken about the abuse she would have gone through. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, when she would have become involved with the People's National Movement, and it's not from African people. So there's a cruelty. They don't like to talk about that. They like to only talk about African people cruel against each other and all that. But there's a cruelty that it is project on one another, kind of self. They internalize all the anger, everything, and then let it out on each other. I would have read some documents here by Professor Brereton when she was speaking about the violence that in 1845, when the indentured Dalits laborers came to Trinidad and lived in the barracks, and the kind of violence that they carried out against each other, especially women. Yeah, they were the first wife murderers in this country. They were the first people hanged for murdering the wives and women. So yeah, they have a violent history, but they like to talk only about African people history. So that's what I say, know your history. So let me continue. So what is this? Just come and block my whole story. So I see Wayne Sturge. I'm not getting the whole story open, but the thing is, Wayne Sturge is saying that he referred to Senator Viera present in the Senate as untenable and questioned why he was brought back as an independent senator after serving a previous period, because they didn't take too kindly about what Senator Viera had said. It now opened up. So this was 13 hours ago in the Daily Express. Minister of Defense Wayne Sturge has called for independent Senator Anthony Viera to be removed from the upper house. Sturge yesterday referred to Viera present in the Senate as untenable and questioned why he was brought back as independent senator after serving a previous period. The minister's the minister made the remarks on his Toko Sandy Grande Facebook page. Joining the United National Congress, UNC criticism of Viera's comments that late former independent Senator Dioruk Timal, who suddenly passed away last Sunday, had been emotionally stressed as a result of the party's attacking the independent bench. In a statement on Timal's death on Sunday, Viera remembered him as a man deeply rooted in service and made reference to what he said were unmeritorious and deeply unfair attacks made against independent senators, including Timal. He said that Timal had told him such attacks had begun to affect his health. It pains me to say that in his final months, Gio was not well. The unmeritorious and deeply unfair attacks leveled against the independent bench and against him personally affected him. He told me of the toll it was taking on his health. He spoke of high blood pressure, of the distress caused by his family, by online trolling, and how the toxicity of our political environment was weighing heavily upon him. He did not deserve that, wrote Viera in his message of condolence. Sturge said that Anthony Viera must be removed from the Senate. Recalling that Viera served in the Senate from 2013 to 15, Sturge said he was then removed to make way for the most impartial and impactful independent senator benches the country has ever seen. Why was he brought back from 2018 to now, Sturge said. He said if Viera serves out his term, it will be the longest anyone has ever served on that bench. Sturge went on to contend that Viera was very openly one-sided and adds little value to the bench. He has shown his hand so very long ago and on many occasions, Sturge said, adding that it was mind-boggling how he was brought back. Sturge further asserted that along with his comrades, Government Senator Faris Alwari and Foster Cummins, Viera present in the upper chamber is untenable. Just a little more, because you need to know what they're saying, right? Not affected. In a brief telephone interview on June the 29th, Timal told the Express that he was not affected at the time by what he saw as an attempt to strategize by the government. The controversy that stemmed from earlier remarks by UNC Public Relations Officer Dr. Kurt Mayhew about the independent bench as the government was preparing to go to the Senate with the Prime Minister's Pension Amendment Bill 2025. The bill, which requires a 3/5 majority to pass in both houses of Parliament, included the support of 4 independent senators, was passed. Timal was one of 5 independent senators who voted for the bill. Prior to the debate in the upper house, Mayhew had questioned the objectivity of an independent bench appointed by President Christine Kangaroo, whom he called a long-standing and deeply embedded figure within the People's National Movement. Mayhew claimed that the upper house did not contain any true independent senators, asking how are the president's senators going to vote, whether as a group or if they caucus or of one mind. Mayhew called on the president's senators not to thwart the will of the people by stopping the pension bill. Timal had stated that he did not take the comments as bullying. If the government tries to use certain strategies to build support for their bill, that is totally up to them. I would prefer to look at it as an attempt to bring attention to the matter at hand in their way, Timal said in June. Timal said he usually makes a decision on a piece of legislation during the debate and committee process where details may come to light, which he had not seen or considered. So everybody would have the same. So let me continue. Hi, Rena. Hi, Maria, Rosalind, Kenneth, Emmeline, Merle, Adara, Mashar, Angela, and Diamond. Those are my peeps on Facebook. I will get to you all on YouTube just now. So I read this piece. I told you all I like this gentleman who was right. His name is Michael Edmund Dehaene. And this is what he had to say. He said, this is what Kamala hired him for. Not policy, not housing, just mobile in a suit. In a moment of national mourning of the late independent Senator Dioruk Timal, Senator Anthony Viera dared to speak the truth that Jamal suffered deeply under partisan attacks while serving the country with quiet dignity. That simple human observation was met with venom from the UNC echo chamber, a two-page screened from Kirk Mayhew, a flood of trolling, and now this grotesque performance by Philip Edward Alexander. Alexander, who now enjoys a taxpayer-funded seat as a junior minister in housing, accused Viera of sullying the office and being incapable of impartiality. This from a man who publicly calls himself the biggest mouth in politics and has spent the better part of a decade running a troll farm that lives on character assassinations and half-truths. Let's not pretend this is about principle. Philip's entire appointment reeks of political payoff. He was hired precisely because of his attacks, because Kamala needed a mercenary, not a minister. What we are seeing is the continuation of dirty politics wrapped in costume of parliamentary respectability. Viera spoke of a man who was wounded by the political culture. The UNC responded by proving him right. So Mr. Dihani is stating that this post I'm going to read here was from the Senator, the Honorable Edward Alexander, who I just called Qatar. This is what it says. In choosing a moment of collective grief to mount a partisan attack cloaked in mourning, Senator Viera has sullied both office he holds and the memory of his colleague. He has now unwittingly raised the issue as to whether he is capable of being impartial in his consideration of legislation being proposed by the government. This is particularly significant in the context of his profound angst at what he feels is the contribution of the government to the demise of someone he appears to consider as a beloved colleague. I just want to ask Qatas, Senator the Honorable Philip Alexander, could you be impartial to any legislation that is brought to Parliament after what you think you would have said and would have done publicly, calling people BITCH and all them kind of things? You could be impartial about anything come to Parliament. So if you could be impartial, why somebody else can't be? Impartiality is just for you alone. I'm just asking. So let me continue. Let me continue. I saw this also and I was like, what's up with this? Because you're talking security. Hi, Donna. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Patricia. You see, I'm getting to see all you today. I tell you, I gotta work out something. So this was Sunday, the 3rd of August, 2025. Intelligence agency, it was in the Newsday. Intelligence agency raised red flags against Homeland Minister security detail. Intelligence agency have raised red flags against a man employed by Minister of Homeland Security, Roger Alexander, as a key member of his personal team. The man has been seen at the Ministry of Homeland Security in sensitive areas and was also photographed at the president's house, purportedly posing as a security officer during the official swearing-in ceremony of government ministers on May 3rd. Excuse me. But Alexander, a former senior superintendent of police, who chucked his job in March to contest a key marginal seat in Tonopuna for the UNC, shrugged off the questions relating to his decision to hire the San Juan resident when questioned by Newsday on July 30th. The security officer is a brother of a police sergeant who was previously assigned to the Northeastern Division Task Force under the command of Alexander. Alexander confirmed that he has employed a security officer when questioned by Newsday after a police commendation ceremony at the police administrative building on July 30th. He said the security officer had been working with him since the campaign. Police sources confirmed that the security officer had been convicted on charges of using obscene language and resisting arrest in 2007, but had been reprimanded and discharged by the magistrate. According to the information in the police database obtained by Newsday, a warrant had been issued for the security officer arrest on a pending charge of assault occasioning actual bodily harm on June 2nd, 2000. Information from the police database shows that a warrant was served on July 1st, 2000 but information relating to the status of the charge was not immediately available. Police said it appeared that other information relating to the security officer had been recently removed from the police database known as the WASA system. Asked whether the security officer was still working for him, Alexander said, sometimes yes. Alexander was asked whether he was aware of the information contained in police intelligence reports relating to the security officer. I'm interested in finding out that he responded after being told about the information. Be careful what you say. I tell you, be very careful. Alexander advised before asking whether this reporter had a copy of the intelligence report. We have documents, the minister asked. You have documents, the minister asked. When answered in the affirmative, the minister paused. So apparently the reporter said yes, so he paused. When shown a copy of the police intelligence report on the reporter's cell phone, Alexander refused to look at it, saying, "That is your phone." After being informed that the security officer was an associate of someone known to the police operating out of Chanka Trace, South El Socorro, the minister said he was unaware of the person whose name was shared with him. Asked whether during his long tenure as a police officer in the Northern Eastern Division, if he ever came across that person, the minister repeated that he did not know the name. In August 2017, the individual was one of two men shot at Changa Trace and was taken to the hospital for emergency treatment. The minister requested that this reporter provide him with evidence to support the claims in the police intelligence report, but did not respond after the information was shared via WhatsApp on July the 30th. The minister said if the police information proved to be true, after you look at it, I will adjust it if you bring it. You have it there? He asked before walking away. Approached again outside the elevator on the 5th floor in company with Public Information Officer Inspector Michelle Lewis, he challenged the reporter to go ahead and print it. The security officer was also reportedly flagged by the security team protecting visiting Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But questions sent to a senior official at the High Commission also went unanswered. Newsday also has been reliably informed that a key ally has sent an official diplomatic note raising concerns about sharing intelligence reports through the Ministry of Homeland Security, which prompted Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar to make the Minister of Defense, Wayne Sturge, a minister in the Ministry of Homeland Security 2 months ago. Government and intelligence sources confirmed that the existence of the diplomatic note, but were reluctant to share details as it would breach confidentiality agreements between the two countries. Newsday attempted to get further detail from Alexander and Commissioner of Police Alistair Guerrero without success. Guerrero said on July the 30th to send the question through the communication manager, Joan Archie, who acknowledged receipt that same day. Question to Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, sent via WhatsApp and email, also went unanswered. Papa, yo. Bacchanal in this city wanted to be that far. He born like a cow. Hey! All you listen to this one. The UNC talk about the PNM, but let me tell you something. They may make a good 4 months. So now, this was in the garden yesterday. Hi, Tessa. Hi, Rebecca. Thank you. Government to explore every option to address U.S. tariff impact. Government will explore every available option to address the impact of the United States' new 15% tariff on TNT exports, including diplomatic talks with Washington, says Finance Minister Dave Tanku. He made a comment yesterday ahead of today's first meeting of the interministerial team tasked with assessing the tariff impact and formulating solutions. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar last Thursday called for a review of the matter, warning of potential economic fallout from reduced competitiveness, lower foreign exchange inflows, and challenges of the manufacturing and energy sector. Really? Really? I read it no more because I want to read this. Because like They ain't talk to the Minister of Trade. Don't worry about the fallout. Really? This is the Minister of Trade. The Minister of Trade. US tariffs is a blessing. He said in the case that the items going from TNT to the US will face a tariff, this means importers will have to pay higher prices than TT goods. And he went on, but he said it is a blessing. So I don't know which, that is why I asked the Honorable Minister of Trade if he thinks that this is Sasha Cosmetics. Because when I see he put up this tariff is a blessing, I was like, okay, now we are hearing the Prime Minister come up beside the Sessa and Tanko and them saying something different. They're having a committee to look into this. So. Hello. Hello. Let me go on to PM2. PM2. So Public Utilities Minister. This was August the 2nd. WASA given 1-year moratorium on 35 million fine. Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarat has announced that the Water and Sewage Authority, WASA, has been granted a 1-year moratorium by the Environmental Management Authority, EMA, temporarily avoiding a potential 35 million annual fine for non-compliance at the Beetham wastewater treatment plant. The moratorium offers WASA a critical window to bring the aging facility up to environmental standard and avoid costly penalties that had loomed over the authority due to persistent effluent discharge violation. Padarat made a statement on Saturday during an interview with Guardian Media. He was responding to questions arising out of the looming fines relating to the plant's effluent issues. And you know why I'm reading no more? Didn't them pay Mamu or somebody how much millions of dollars for the Beetham wastewater plant under the UNC and PP government? And they say Mamu ain't build nothing, really, and take the money and go Panama. So now because that they down there, so I tell you right, I know, look for green verbs here. Down there, so only Beetham they know. WASA had to pay what? A fine at $35 million for that. Who created that? Let me tell you, EMA, let me tell you something, Steve. The increase in the salaries that all of them complain about and say Dr. Rowley wicked and bad, he take money for himself and increase salary when we know it's over 900 plus public officers who would have gotten increases because the SRC is the body that negotiates for them. You see, all of them was complaining and saying, oh, Dr. Rowley wicked and whatever. You see the increase all they get? All of them minister in the UNC take all the normal salary all they used to get before the increases, pull it together and pay this fine to EMA. Is all your cause that. Why taxpayers' money had to go to pay for that is all your cause that. All they didn't finish Beetham wastewater plant. All they pay a man who much millions of things, the man never finished it, nothing at all, and he go on Panama or some kind of bacchanal, so they say. Now we had to pay that. We didn't create a problem, so take the excess money from all the increase in salaries that all of us complaining about, pull it together and pay that bill. Don't take my taxpayers' money, otherwise, you know what? Give me my tax money. I know they could take all your own and pay. I'm not paying that money. I didn't create that problem. I'm not paying it. I ain't paying it. They put that all of them pay that. We ain't paying that. They're too blasted, wicked. Wicked. No, I go into a story today. I talked to some MTS. I talked to some MTS security guards. I talked to them. I ain't going to tell all you I talked to them. I talked to them. But let me read the story first and I will tell all you something. Yes, Ophelia, damn right, Jen, they get what they asked for. And they were begging for all sorts. Yes, yes. 15% on my backside. So this is this. Padarat, August the 5th. Government moving to resolve MTS salary woes. The Ministry of Finance is working to address wage payment complaints at the National Maintenance Training and Security Company Limited, NTS, after the state agency inherited financial mess caused by administrative delays Public Utility Minister Barry Parrott has said. Fedara told the Express via WhatsApp yesterday that the government inherited a financial mess at the MTS from the former administration, with outstanding receivables mounting to over 700 million, which impacted the human resource matters in the company. I just want to pause here for a minute. I want to tell PM2 that in 2015, the PNM government inherited a recession that only created because we had the highest oil prices ever, even more than under Dr. Eric Isas Williams. But we was in a recession by 2015. All your central bank manager or governor come out and tell the incoming PNM government we're in a recession. We have 3 consecutive quarters or something. So the PNM come and meet the country in a mess. The whole country, not MTS, the whole country in a mess. PM2, when all leave office, voted out of office in 2015, a whole recession. It wasn't one ministry. And then we had Sharon Utley, the past auditor, who said billions of dollars was being spent under the PP government in ministries with no accountability, no documents to show why they're spending it. Like when the PNM had to come and meet, it wasn't one ministry, a whole list of ministries. Let me continue. Fedara said he had spoken with Minister of Finance Dave Tanku as we have been attempting to reconcile the matter. The minister in the office of the Prime Minister said Tanku has assured me that it was being addressed to bring a resolution to the matter. MTS is overseen by the Ministry of Public Utilities and provides a range of services, including security as part of its mandate. Complaints over late payments to hundreds of security officers with the MTS was raised last Saturday by Estate Police Association, EPA. The EPA called on the government to act urgently and intervene, stating that hundreds of livelihoods were being threatened. The association said the well-being of officers was also being impacted. The EPA further stated that despite warnings, the MTS failed to remit payments to employee salary deduction to credit unions and other organizations. The EPA said employees' credit ratings have been severely damaged as a result, while access to loans have been denied and many officers were receiving letters from their creditors. I'll tell you something just now. The association also contended that the salary issue had stemmed from non-payments by government ministries for services from the MTS. The EPA argued that MTS officers had been exploited, disrespected, and left without basic protection for far too long. It said that the previous administration also offered a disgraceful 2% increase, which translated into an additional 31 cents per hour for 2013 to 2016. And I just want to tell the EPA and the president, well, I hear you. But this government ain't going to offer you nothing. They want to feel they're going to get something offered on this government. But I hear you. I understand. I not vexed. Nobody calling but the little bit of percentage. I'm not going there. The EPA said that the delay in salary should not have occurred and called on the present government to act quickly to prevent a complete shutdown at the MTS. Delays were also experienced last week in the issuing of salaries to monthly paid employees at the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government. In a statement addressing the matter, Local Government Minister Khadija Amin stated, while the payment of salaries is an administrative function, I understand the hardship and frustration caused by the delay. Amin stated that the delay was due to an administrative kickback within the public service. She said the matter was being brought to the attention of herself and the finance minister and was promptly resolved through their intervention. She also gave the assurance that everyone will receive their salaries, that systems were being monitored to prevent reoccurrence. Amin went on to reaffirm her commitment to ensuring that workers are treated with the respect and consistency they deserve. She also thanked the employees for their patience. Oh, yeah. I was talking to some MTS workers today. And I understand, I'm saying after them, that deductions coming out of the salary standing orders, no people are standing orders for loans and credit unions and whatever thing, standing orders. Coming out their salary. But the deduction are coming out their salary in the standing orders not being sent to the relevant places that they take all the money from the people's salary. So the bank payment coming out, the credit union, the this, that, all that, but it's not being paid. And when the person told me that, I said to myself, that is not so incredible, you know. I'll tell you what. During the PP government rule, because my husband, woman, a business. I just go and scope the same thing, whatever I need, whatever. When Inland Revenue was on Queen Street, they sent my husband a letter stating he owing health surcharge. So he showed me that. I said, how you owing health surcharge? Health surcharge just come out your salary. That, you ain't getting that. Them thing come out before you get a salary. So I said, okay, let me go down. My girl dress something, whatever, business. So when I go on leave, I said, I'll go dress for business, you know. I go along there, identify myself and show them. So the time I let my husband get the whole pay sheet. Get the pay sheet. I tell him I will come and do the business and thing. He write a letter stating I'm doing the business and thing, right? I get the whole pay sheet. I go, no, look at it. Let me tell you something. It was Northwest Regional Health Authority. Northwest Regional Health Authority wasn't paying NIS health surcharge. They're taking it out from everybody. Let us say that didn't happen. They were taking it out from everybody. I wasn't paying. It was alleged. I don't know how true. It was alleged. They put it in the bank, and after 3 months or 6 months, whatever, the interest from that, they taken that, and I don't know what the hell and what the hell. It is alleged. But I know there was nothing because my husband went through that, and I had was to go and carry his whole pay sheet to show that it was coming out every month. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I had was to write Northwest and charge them penalties for not paying NI. So when the security officer from MTS tell me about deductions coming on, but it's not going as supposed to, why just saying what the person said, I don't know how true it is there, my mind flash back to that. Let me continue. Let me continue, Papa. Then I'm seeing here, this was yesterday in the Guardian, no timeline for restart of CEPEP for Darrett. Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarat, yes, is denying claims that he has instructed a community-based environmental protection and enhancement program, CEPEP, new board to shut down its operation. However, he could not provide a timeline for when the company will rehire workers, noting CEPEP remains under review. In fact, Padarat yesterday revealed that the board has requested 6 months to complete financial audits covering the past 7 years. It's 7 years of audit that they had to do. They have not audited financial statements for 7 years. There are 2 types of audits. There are the physical assets of the company, and then there are the financial audits. Both are still ongoing. Padarat told Guardian Media. He said the 6-month time period requested by Dane Maharaj led board may be a tall order. I think it's an ambitious time frame, but we are hoping that within the next 6 months, we have 7 years completed. It will be a stretch, he said. Asked about the estimated 10,000 workers on the breadline following government's termination of more than 360 contractors, Padarat said, well, that will have to be a government policy. I know that there are discussions that we are having right now in terms of where do we go with respect to the administration of the company, hiring, etc. So those things are a bit off in terms of the immediate future of CEPEP. Those things are still in discussion with the cabinet. I ain't reading no further. I'm just asking a question. I don't know if it's a design, if it's a strategy, or if they just don't understand. You take 10,500 or 20,000 workers out of the system. Workers who are the lower range of the system, who get paid fortnightly. They are consumers, you know. And every fortnight, them running the ground economy, you know. Parlor, shop, grocery, market, the hardware, that's where the money going, you know, when they get their money, because they have to buy this, buy that thing. You pull 20,000 people out of the system. Me no economist, but I common sense. Them may have no money to spend again. So that economy that are dead, we might see the effects of it today or next month. But trust me, soon, I am sure, National Lottery Board, the profits going to drop. Because who does play with? Let me be real. Who does play with? Who does play lotto? You're going to, all you're going to watch it and tell me. You're going to see a decline in the profits at NLCB. You're going to see supermarket, not so much supermarket, but to see them vendors on the street and thing, and market thing. You're going to see plenty of them under stress because it's them people from the CEPEP and the URP and from forestry and from here and there, the stores and that make up that large grouping of people who don't shop because we go in fortnight, excuse me, buy a little something, go in the shop, a little something, trust this thing. That real. You pull them on the system and don't understand they're going to have a replacement. Or is it, or they want to create? I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Is it or they want to create an issue? Because the concept is the conception or the perception is a set of African people working CEPEP and European forestry and them things. And they don't want to work, they want to just thing on the government right through the lazy and black people. And then they like to say, poverty is what have black people doing crime. And they say that. And then they say black people committing crime, home invasion, all them things. And then I say all them kind of thing. So when you know disenfranchise 10,500 people who all they think is African people, and they have no money and all they say poverty does create crime, all they say so. And they had children to mind books, to buy food, to buy rent, to pay phone bill, to pay light bill, to pay WASA, to pay money lender, to pay susu, to pay bank, to pay credit union, to pay courts, to pay standards, to pay, and no money are coming in. What are these people going to do? So is it always setting up a scenario where all our crime to be happening in this country? I just asking a question, you know, and then with that now, home invasion or whatever, give more credibility asking a question to stand your ground laws. I just asking a question. I just asked you. Let me play this for you.
Government could hire and fire who they pleased. When you could hire and fire who you please, you could get them to do what you want. And that's how it works in this system.
I hope you all were able to hear that. It was very short. Let me play this one. Listen to this.
Where we have to collect money from certain people every month. We have to collect a fee to pay a private security to protect our family. It really getting unfair. A lot of people from Kuchawan, Ramsey, Chester, Somaitres used to work URP, CEPEP, Ministry of Works. They out of job. When I go to ask for money right now from a person for $100 from a person, a single parent, oh, we have to buy school book, how are we going to protect? Now, this is a crisis that we're facing in Kuchawan and Chester and Somai, and I representing the people here today because first time we're getting a minister in front of us to take our.
You hear what the man say? From my gather, they just pay the security, whatever, and everybody just tune in and put a lot of money. They can't get money now because plenty of the people who just pay the money is European CEPEP and all that. So them are working and they say no, their money is to buy children's food back and all that. So it is African people alone, because that's an Indian man talking. It is African people alone. Listen to this. Listen to this. All listening to something, now listen to this, right?
Have you not seen kidnapping on the rise, Trinidad and Tobago? Have you not seen that? And why is that so? Why is that so? We need the man in charge. We need the man in charge, Mr. Roger Alexander, Minister in the Ministry of Homeland Security. You need to wake up from your slumber, boss. Wake up, shake up. And you know what? Just as how you were talking on those the television platform that you're going to do this, now people bought hook, line, and sinker that you would have been the best man. You would have been the best man to save the country, Trinidad and Tobago. We are waiting, we are watching with our bated breath to see what is your plans and how is it that you're going to manage. If you think that SOE alone is going to save this country, think again, my friend.
Well, okay. I want to let you look at this picture here. Right? CEPEP job cuts take toll on community. That's how the community looking right now. As the 2-month mark approaches since the government terminated over 10,000 workers from the community-based environmental protection and enhancement program, CEPEP, residents of West Trinidad are starting to feel the impact. A 73-year-old resident of Rich Plain Road, who wished to remain anonymous, said yesterday that she had to take matters into her own hand by cleaning the areas where CEPEP team once worked. You see up there is in a mess since CEPEP leave from up there. It's me and my son who does clean there. And if I don't clean it, nobody else will clean it, she said. The pensioner told Guardian Media that the CEPEP teams not only kept the community clean, but also helped protect residents from disease linked to exposure to rubbish. If it go have mosquitoes, look at how much tire it have in the bag there. It's endless tires and they're not moving it. It had a time I got get so mad, I went to the corporation and showed them, she said. One former employee who was a part of a CEPEP team in Rich Plain community said he has been doing odd jobs since contracts were terminated back in June. My relative does do electrical now. So when he get jobs, when he get little jobs to wire over house and thing, he just call me out, he said. The man shared that he feels guilty seeing his community in such a deplorable state. Unlike before, when he spent his mornings working with CEPEP to clean it, he is now focused on trying to earn a living. While I lineman, I go and clean, but not everybody will think so. Real people complain in the express. You see how the place looking? All the beat-up highway. Certain cars can't drive off the road because of the mess. You are not seeing the white line good and things is real mess, you say. Along the Dego Martin Highway near Crystal Stream, the Guardian Media team observed garbage and overgrown grass on both sides of the roadway. A woman who frequents the area said she got accustomed to seeing the workers out on mornings, noting that since the program was dissolved, the country has been in a mess. The place not clean. It's not just there. Even in Marval area, anywhere you look, the place is just dirty. The bush is high. Look for instance, the savannah. Usually when it have any concert or anything, it will be clean. All over just dirty and the people want the work. So get them the work because the place is looking horrible, she explained. On Monday, Minister of Public Utilities Barry Padat said they have spoken to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to assist them. He said they have increased the maintenance of public spaces and other areas where CEPEP would usually target. While this was confirmed by Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Khadija Amin, Western Trinidad residents say they have not seen no evidence of this. Guardian Media also visited areas along the Beetham Highway and Eastern Main Road where CEPEP teams would usually operate. And while no one spoke to us, our team noticed rubbish and overgrown grass. That's how the place looking all over. But listen to this. I want you to listen to this. I hope I find it. Listen to this.
Economist Professor Roger Hussain says halting of the CEPEP contracts may force workers to become less reliant on the government. He said the state of the economy gave the government no other option. Speaking on today's Morning Brew program, Hussain said, while the government needs to protect the poorest and most vulnerable in society, it is an opportunity for the workers to become entrepreneurial.
They have very low average productivity to the extent that I think about 80% of CEPEP workers could probably remain on the breadline permanently and be forced to look to the private sector and other parts of the economy for labor absorption. Let us work together in the context of this situation, and in my humble opinion, this will remain so for the next 10 years. So they might as well start now to fix the outlook for themselves.
That there is Professor Roger Hussain. And I want to tell Professor Roger Hussain, with all due respect, you blasted out that place. You sung it as if you have a hatred for CEPEP workers. Because all already says grass cutters, and as I said before, cane, who come here to cut cane in 1845, they come to cut grass too. Because grass, sugar cane is a part of the grass family. What do they have with CEPEP? It's not the same people who started off in CEPEP under Mr. Manning, the same people who in CEPEP. A lot of people move on. Because the program was designed for that. A lot of people came out with trade. They are now worker men and worker women and different other areas. So we're talking about to wean off. And that is the next 10 years. So a lot of them going to remain unemployed and on the breadline. That what you wishing for this country? Professor Roger Hussain, but I want to ask you this. When the People's National Movement buy over the sugar estate from Tata and Lyle because they run out of it because sugar wasn't making money again, and this government buy it over to save the jobs of how much? About 5,000, mostly East Indian workers, Professor Hussain, who may have been your family too. And Caroni wasn't making no money. Even under Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley as Minister of Agriculture, he was to write off millions of dollars in debt from Caroni to keep saving jobs. Caroni wasn't making nothing. They say it is alleged that the workers are putting heavy thing inside the truck and putting the cane. So when you weigh it, like it's plenty cane and it wasn't much cane. All that was going on in Caroni wasn't making no money. Why you didn't tell them to wean off? You know what happened? When the government couldn't hold it down no more, because all the subsidies to Caroni, they give the Caroni workers the largest retrenchment package in the whole of the Commonwealth. And land too. Why you didn't tell them to take the money and wean off and go and train themselves to do something different? But money good for all you. Money land good for all you. It ain't good for African people. When I was doing in Caroni, not cutting grass. So you just sit around there to talk about and the should wean off the government and the plenty of them, they should go on to the private. You think that they can get work inside the blasted private sector they will not go? Why you think some of them in CEPEP? Because the private sector ain't high end, because they're very competitive too, and plenty of them leave CEPEP and are qualified in other areas. Who ain't going to do the little degree and all them kind of thing if it is everybody? And the cane cutters and them, the grass cutters and them, and them train went on to be doctor, lawyer, and something. What you think CEPEP workers and them train is? You feel it's done, so what? But you sound like you're full of hate, but you know, that has come from when you hate yourself. That comes from when you hate yourself. And I want to remind you your history. Professor Hossein, I want to remind you it before 1845. I want to remind you it. Because unlike the grass cutters, or they call them the African people, or you want to pass all them out on, we didn't run from the continent to come here. We didn't run from Africa to come here. We were brought here unwillingly. We were raped, mutilated, kidnapped, tortured. Your family, sir, your great-great-grandmother and grandfather, they run from India because of the inhumane caste system. Where they had the Dalits that would come here, who your great-grandmother and great-grandfather, Professor Hossein, they came here, they run from India to come here because in India, they were the untouchables. The job they used to do is clean cesspit, take up filter off the street because, you know, in that something where there is a defecate on the street and all kind of thing, it have people to clean up that. It is Dalits just to clean up that. They can garbage and do all kind of, touch all kind of body fluid, which is taboo in Hinduism. Not me say, that's why I read. They can become no pundit, no teacher, no merchant, nothing. Relegated to life like scavengers. That inhumane caste system that was taken advantage of by the colonials who always so love. That's what your great-grandma and great-great-grandpa and them was doing in India when they run to Trinidad to get a better life. I told I run as hell, I would have run here. And they came here and they did well. Nobody say no, can't take that from all you. But operate as if you come from something better and we are talking about grass cutting and all, or they should get into business and everybody can get into business. You feel it's only African people that's work CEPEP power. You hear the Indian man just saying there that when you go to them, ask them for the money, you know, for the little security, they can't get that books to buy, this to buy. You feel it's African people you're talking about. Indian people that's work CEPEP too. Indian people that work CEPEP too. So what I made them? Well, I don't want to look down. And because the same grass cutters, what they call it, the whole place, just like I have a blasted dengue outbreak in this country. Or they go on the same grass cutters. I hope you don't hire nobody to go and cut your yard and landscape your yard because them is grass cutters too. You want to look down. If I was to close my eye and just listen to you, I'll never believe from your tonal or your vocal that you're a professor. Hey, you know songs that I close my eyes. I won't tell you what I see when I close my eyes or what I imagine when I close my eyes. But you know song like no professor or nothing. And your thoughts must be making you look ugly so. That has to be something from inside. So again, I say blasted fast and out of place. In my opinion, it was a wickedness done to CEPEP workers because the contractors don't pay CEPEP workers. It's CEPEP that pays CEPEP workers. So if the contract was the problem, what will fire the workers for? The workers have nothing to do with that. But that one says a vindictive thing. But let me tell you, the pit only digging for people. The pit only digging for people. This is 2025-year jubilation. The pit only digging for people. All your panty showing, in my opinion. You ain't wearing panty, you wearing panty. That has to be panty, yellow panty you wear to be singing and talking. So he's an economist in this country. He want everybody that's run to like it have nobody else. It have June, it have Dr. Axe, it have all kind of people you don't run into. And that what you saying? That what you talking? And not understanding as an economist. Taking all them people out of the system like that could cause real problems in this country where the economy is concerned. Because them, as I say again, is the consumers. And if it has no demand for goods, it will remain right there because all you're surely buying. For economists, you sound dumb. So again, I say, know your blasted place when you're talking about people because them is human beings you're talking about. It have Indian people who cutting grass in CEPEP too. It have African people, it have all kind of people cutting grass because you know it's a work at the end of the day. They're providing a service. Because if they ain't clean the place, we see the effect of that. Just like the maids and everything clean the toilet for them and all they go in all the office and you we. Excuse me, the cleaners ain't clean the toilet or they can't use it. Or the maid will come and clean on the table and put a little juice and all that about the seminar, or they can't have nothing. So now they blasted place when they're talking, but people on the lower rung. Like, oh, they're so happy now. I say again, if I close my hand here, you talk, I never believe he's a professor. Anyway, let me move on. All of the panty showing now, yes. That is my opinion. So, let me go on to this. Because people don't like to hear me talk about PNM and PNM business. So, I saw this on a post on Facebook. It says, long post salute, right? Good morning to the PNM and to those who would read this post. It must be that a false spirit of ingratitude and dishonor has overcome this leadership to the point where our matriarch, Mrs. Joan Yule Williams, could become a target of evil enterprise. This is not about the party's constitution, but a matter of principle. Auntie Joan has given her life to the PNM since our defeat in 1986. She served as chairman of the San Fernando East Minister, Senator, Women's League chairman, deputy political leader, acting PM, coordinator of the constituency, and so many other positions. She successfully worked on several PNM historical and political documents and events. She transformed the whole cultural arena as minister, helped Calypso Tents give support to countless vulnerable people and communities. Joan Yule Williams is a living legend, an institution in the PNM. How in the name of tarnation could these leaders who purport themselves as being human beings take the decision to send a text message to her telling her that she was no longer welcome at General Council and other meetings at Barrisley House? These people here good. This is very painful. Why would they want to take away from this senior servant of the party the honor of sitting at a meeting at Barrisley House? Why? What is the harm or danger? Is it that they no longer respect or reverence for our tradition and old landmarks? I recall a public statement by former General Secretary and Ambassador Mr. Ashton Ford, who said, the inheritors must not forget the builders. Even if you feel that she may not have supported your campaign, does everything have to be about vengeance or even about our elderly? Is everything about you against the rest? What is the cliquism about? Auntie Joan knows that she has no vote or no say at your meeting. She is just but a pleasant and impactful present and a reminder of our history and the hard work that went before us. That's all. All wise leaders know the spiritual and natural significance of honor and respect for their predecessors. You all have kicked Dr. Rowley and others with your vile and hateful words and action in a full view of the world. You have ostracized Mr. Ashton Ford and Mr. Freddie Viera with political or with public scornful comments. There seems to be a pattern here. The question remains, how could our matriarch be such a disdainful sight that you would see it fit to insult her in such a fashion? How? How can we disrespect her in such an offhanded, insensitive, and arrogant manner? I bring to notable mention the public statement made by a long-standing member of the PNM and advisor, Mr. Freddie Viera, who said that he has no choice but to support a political leader, but he is not happy with her choices, in reference to Farris and Foster. So I asked again, who is responsible for this move to debar Auntie Joan? Who sent this text message? Was it the General Secretary? Is it the political leader? So news came to me, I don't know how true, that Mrs. Joan Yule Williams is no longer welcome at the PNM General Council meetings or nothing. Nothing at all. So like they put all the woman. But I understand also that during the internal election, she showed that she didn't like what was happening with. I would have heard her from good grounds that the member of parliament for Aruka Lopino would have told some elders in a meeting, he ain't want no old people. Only young people they want. That would they tell me I'm not in them constituency. But then I sit back and I remember Dolly Gaspy, the one with the space in she teeth, when she say, you know, woman with space in the teeth. I want to ask somebody, what is that about? They said the calypso where Sparrow sing with woman with sugar, space in the teeth and bag of sugar. And I said to myself, it should refer to that. That is what she reduced herself to. something between her legs. That is what she reduced herself to. A woman who is bright and beautiful as that, who is doctor in marine something, whatever. That's what you reduce yourself to, a space in your teeth and a bag of sugar, something between your legs. And I was like, that conversation is so crass. Oh my God. But then I remember her saying at the PNM convention or something, and I remember the message she sent. Let me play the message that she sent for me. Let me play the message.
Pension. Close ranks. To those who don't, those who can't, must fall out or must be thrown out. This is a pitched battle which the General Staff, our General Council, must direct. There is no room for guerrillas or individual heroics. The shock troops must be maintained by supplies behind the lines. Everyone must be at his best, carrying out instructions, working for the whole and not any part thereof. There is room neither for the halt, nor the lame, nor the blind, nor for putting the deaf ear to instruction. Tonight, I issue the call through this convention. The PNM expects every party member, man and woman, to do his duty. Tonight, I give to the party members a 6-point code of responsibility during this period. First, you must be loyal to the ideals and program of the PNM. This is more than a question of lip service or of signing an application form in which you pledge to uphold the ideals and programs of the movement. You are false to your pledge to uphold the movement. You prostitute its ideals and subvert its program if you indulge in the intrigue, the faction, the mauvais langue which have reared their ugly heads in the movement.
So the woman said it there. Basically saying if you don't get in line, they would throw you out. So apparently, in my opinion, as it is alleged that Auntie Joan Williams did not like the behavior in the internal and she would have spoken out. She not in conformity, so they throw she backside out. So that what the PNM, the Balize house reduced to. So like people who feel they build it and it's like it's really them own in truth. This is the house that who built. So they putting out people, the one with the space and she teeth, who talking about sugar, bag of sugar, but gorillas and whatever. Miss Lady, really feel you as girl? You making yourself look ugly. Not physically, your aura coming across ugly, and that space in it, will just some people will just be seeing ugliness. Why you putting yourself in that kind of space? But then again, I want her to wonder what kind of home you come from. Because for a woman who was spoken and went to the prestigious school and have a doctorate, could be so crass in the delivery of things. What do you feel? How could you speak to anybody in your home like that? Usually people just carry on like that. They have no control in the home, So when they get that authority, they don't have to show it. I will maintain and continue to say that Dr. Nyan Dolly Gaspi can't take the Women's League nowhere. Nowhere. Can't take the Women's League nowhere. And I just wonder, because I saw they had a very lengthy presser today. I didn't get a chance to listen to it in its entirety, so I can't really pronounce much on it. But I noticed that the opposition leader is not there. And I was doing some inquiries, and I don't know how true it is. Is it true that she fly out to receive an award again? I just want to ask a question. Somebody asks, I always am the woman, if I like woman. There's a kind of worms nobody want to open, That conversation is not a conversation. They want to open it. So as I was saying again, I see that the opposition leader, She not there, understand. I don't know, she going for some award somewhere again. Madam Opposition Leader, when you take the job, it's not supposed to be flying all over to get this award and that award and this award. Do that on your private time, Miss Lady. There are plenty work to do, plenty things happening in this country. And I will continue to always talk about you because you're not performing. We want you to perform. And you're not performing. You're not making, I come just like Freddie Viera. You're the opposition leader and you're the political leader. Me are fighting that. But your decisions and things you're making, it ain't making sense. It ain't empowering the party, nothing. Everybody watching them out and paying them now. People laughing at PNM, the opposition laughing at PNM because it's an opposition. It wasn't for a few members who just stand up and hold it down. It wasn't for a few members of parliament who standing up and holding it down. PNM would be a real, well, it's done a joke already. It would be a comedy fest. And every time they look for you, never there. You're never there. And when you're there, you're boring. I say, let them make a live again. Let them go and make a live again. No, people used to say they put them so, like they put them so, go and make a live again. I will keep talking about the political leader because I want her to do good. Not because I like woman. She's a human being and she going up for the position. She come to do the work, let she do the work. But don't open a can of worms. Guys, a can of worms, they don't want to open either. Hey! Well, they're not easy, you know? But I want to let her listen to this. Where the thing? I know see the thing, listen to this.
Deception often starts small with white lies or omissions, but it can snowball into bigger breaches of trust. When we deceive, we're not only hiding the truth from others, but also from ourselves. Over time, deception corrodes relationships and compromises integrity. It might seem like a shortcut in the moment, but honesty builds real lasting connections. So the next time you're tempted to deceive, remember that truth, though sometimes uncomfortable, ultimately creates stronger bonds and self-respect.
Right? So where's the wisdom there? So I'm saying that former Prime Minister Dr. Rowley wins land dispute case at Privy Council. This was 22 hours ago in The Guardian. It says, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has emerged victorious in a protracted legal dispute with a couple over their long-standing interest in purchasing portions of a large estate in Mason Hall, Tobago. Excuse me. Delivering a judgment Wednesday, the 5 law lords of the United Kingdom-based Privy Council upheld Rowley's appeal against Christo and Jocelyn Griff. Lord Andrew Barrow, who delivered the board's judgment, ruled that 2 out of 3 local courts of appeal judges were wrong to have overturned a High Court judge who had upheld Rowley's interest in completing the sale of a larger portion of the estate. Although the majority correctly set out the law on the need for restraint before the appellate court can intervene in respect of findings of fact, the majority did not correctly apply that law, Lord Barrow said. He said the judges erred in doing so because they were of a different view than the judge and their colleague, Justice Gillian Lucky, who dissented. Determination of the fact is preeminently a matter for the trial judge, who will have had the advantage of seeing and hearing the relevant evidence, Lord Barrow said. The legal dispute relates to a parcel of land in Mason Hall, Tobago, in which both Rowley and the Griffs had interest, Dr. Rowley, that is. The land was part of the 882-acre Alma estate, which was owned by Frank Latour. In 1975, Latour agreed to sell a 56.5-acre plot to Dr. Rowley at a rate of $300 per acre. The land was immediately conveyed to Dr. Rowley as Latour requested a survey to help define one of the boundaries of the lot being purchased by Dr. Rowley. Latour died before the procedure was completed, and his daughter Marcel was appointed as the executrix of his estate. In 1998, Latour's daughter entered into an agreement to sell the Griff the estate excluding Dr. Rowley's portion at a rate of $5,000 per acre. They paid a $30,000 deposit. Before the sale was concluded, however, Latour's daughter informed the group that she wished to expand Dr. Rowley's portion, as the survey showed his plot was in fact a little over 80 acres. The group claimed that she then told them that she was no longer interested in completing the sale and was willing to refund the deposit. The group filed a case seeking specific performance of the sale agreement between them and Latour's daughter. Their case was first rejected by Justice Nadia Kangaloo, who found that the portion that they were entitled to purchase was dependent on Dr. Rowley's portion that was assessed in the new survey. Latour's daughter passed away after the trial of the case, and Graham Mitchell was appointed to serve as the legal representative of her father's estate. In a majority judgment in December 2023, appellate judges Alan Mendoka and James Aboud upheld the gift's appeal over being entitled to a larger portion of the estate. They found that the judge failed to properly consider correspondence between Dr. Rowley and Latour from 1980 over the resurvey. It was not permissible in the face of the evidence as a whole, which includes the correspondence, for the trial judge to have come to the conclusion that the agreement between the first respondent, Latour's daughter, and the appellants, the Griffs, for the sale to them of the remaining lands was subjected to the resurvey of the land the deceased had agreed to sell to the second respondent, Dr. Rowley, Justice Mendoka said. Justice Lucky delivered a dissenting judgment suggesting that the trial judge was correct. Lord Barrow and his colleagues agreed with Dr. Rowley's lawyer, led by Ramesh Lawrence Maraj, SC, that should be case, SC, that the majority of the Court of Appeal and the Griffs placed too much emphasis on the sale agreement between his client and the Latour. Even if Ms. Latour had been mistaken, contrary to Justice Kangaloo's finding, as to what has been agreed between her father and Dr. Rowley, it was her and the Gift objective understanding in 1998 that had to be focused on. And Justice Kangaloo made findings as to the understanding which the Court of Appeal was not entitled to reject, Lord Barrow said. Dr. Rowley was also represented by Dr. Margaret Rose and Robert Strand. The Griffs were represented by Anna Ramlogan, SC, and Daniel Goldberg. So congratulations, dear Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. It has been a long time coming.
Deception often starts small, with white lies or...
Sorry about that, my hand touched. It has been a long time coming, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. You deserve it. So listen, this one is to you, Dr. Rowley. I know you didn't intend it to be no color, so but listen to it all.
Power, feel the power, power, power. DJ, touch it, bring it, baby. Touch it, bring it, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Somebody touch me. Somebody touch me. Somebody touch my soul. Yeah. Somebody pray to me, Jesus. Somebody touch my soul. Somebody touch me. Somebody touch me. Somebody touch my soul. Who, me?
Dr. Rowley, you keep praying them wicked and evil one. All the things they call you, all they put you through them and all in the PNM. Don't worry. Longest rope have an end and all who dig pit. Hope them ain't falling down pit that they dig. And as on that note, I'm bringing this youth man who was suspended, or I want to listen to him. I think he's from Tobago. That's good news too, right? Let me play it here because
Diamond Young, a Form 4 student of the Signal Hill Secondary School, told TV6 News he vowed to himself never to get suspended again.
I didn't like how I get suspended because that could affect your records and thing, and I didn't like it. And the steps I took on to like make my business, I went on and going through steps on how and where I should begin starting on the business.
Diamond rose to the occasion, crafting a solid and innovative business plan. Recognizing his determination and potential, the principal secured a sponsor just as promised. A dream come true for him, taking full advantage of the opportunities afforded to him, the birth of Diamond Era Tech.
Basically reselling refurbished phones and fixing them, and I want to start to like fix iCloud.
Tell us, how do you feel as a student moving from indiscipline to now entrepreneurship?
It feels really good. I always had a dream to like become my own, like more like being well-being off into like life. I always see myself like high up, and to get this opportunity, I'm going to take it with full strength.
Today, Diamond has partnered with a group of dedicated teachers and earned a $5,000 contribution from a local business leader. His venture is already taking root, driven by his brilliance, discipline, and newfound purpose. What began as a turning point has become a testimony to what young people can achieve when they are given a second chance and the right support.
And I decided to dig deep, and it is through my deeper conversations with Diamond, I realized that he had this big dream, a passion, to have his own business. And I challenged him. I said, okay, if you can come out of this negative, I would be willing to find the sponsors in the business community that would be willing to sponsor your business idea. But you have to do your research, come up with a clear business plan, which he did. When he returned from his suspension, he came back with a brilliant business plan. He was able to articulate it very clearly, and I immediately set out to work by getting some sponsors.
Elizabeth Williams, TV6 News.
Facing out adversity, good things could come. Had he not been suspended, probably he may never have come up with that idea. I'm not saying that you should get suspended, but I'm saying sometimes adversity in life and trials and tribulation that you meet, sometimes it is building you for something new that had you not gone through it, it would not have been. It's like walking through fire. Dr. Rowley has walked through the fire and he come out on the next side, so all the goodness for him. Yeah? My member of parliament still walking through the fire with them. He's still walking through the fire with them. But if that's the journey to walk, you have to walk that path. But I'm a member of parliament, and I'm saying it again, I support my member of parliament. That's what I was vote for. Can't expect me to support some next member of parliament. I'm minister of support. I'm minister, but member of parliament, I have to support none. It starts at home. So shout out to my member of parliament, the Honorable Stuart Richard Young SC. Shout out, I haven't heard for a while, Miss Camille Robinson Regis, Audien Maloney. Yeah? Shout out to all other members of parliament on the PNM side. Dominic Romaine, MP Dominic Romaine, shout out. I ain't here for a little while. It's a love, but I don't know why I always feel that people can't, but I could chew gum and speak at the same time. I don't know how the feel is everybody have to like you and you have to like that. I don't want to be like no set of people. You have a job to do the blasted job. It ain't no hate, it ain't nothing, just do the work. If we become friend, we good, we ain't good. Ain't no stealing what we just do the work. And if you ain't doing it, why must I not say nothing? I don't understand that. Just so what? Just so what? For what? For likes? That likes could carry you somewhere. And this one, like, I'm behind your back, they're shooing on you, you know. Or they get tired when it's not a like and a lecture, and them behind the back, they're saying all the wrong things, whatever it is. The PNM right now is not doing the right thing. And if that is what they do to Auntie Joe O'Neill Williams, if it's true, that is wickedness. That is deceitfulness. All I throw out away the old and just bring in just new and inexperience and feel that is how to build back a PNM. Of course, the PNM want young people in it. Of course, that is the future. But you can't discard those who have passed before. A 70-year-old could be thinking more active than a 20-year-old, have more progressive ideas than a 20-year-old. You never could tell. Yeah, just some elders were able to transition both sides, the Gen Zs and the Dis Cs and Generation X or whatever. And is an elder but able to still mesh with them and understand. So they continue to throw the old and build this new. Me and all the building this black party all want to build. That reaching nowhere. That reaching nowhere and all they have representing all you. That is the new look. I want to represent all you. Well, boy, all they really in a bad place then shoot. I saying all this is at the end of the day. All is not lost, you know. It just takes people to stand up and talk the truth and stop studying what they could get. And if they talk the truth, they ain't gonna get. Stop studying what you could get and study the future, your children, your grandchildren, your great-great-grand, all children at Trinidad and Tobago. Start to study that and stop only studying self and what you ain't gonna get. Because if you talk, they ain't gonna give you and all that. Stop that. That ain't carrying no way. Because the UNC going ahead with their madness, you know. Them have a calculated madness, in my opinion, you know. We feel them doing madness, them calculated and them madness, them doing, you know, my opinion, you know. Them and just doing things Viking, looking so that we, them, in my opinion, have a whole strategy. We might not see it and understand it, but them have a strategy. Them come there with a vengeance, you know. Them come there with a vengeance for people who vote for them and vote them out in 2015, you know. That, in my opinion, I give us all this sit down there and the PNM put out this one, put out them like that's all the personal house. And only invite this one who talk to all the nice and this one all and see if it go anywhere. It go anywhere. And I call it again on the political leader and opposition leader, the People's National Movement, the opposition leader, Trinidad and Tobago, start to show up and do the work. Start to show up. Start to woman up. They ain't doing nothing right now. This trying for award and award and award and award for what? But to put in a plaque, to put in a book. We want you here to treat and deal with matters, stand and command your troops. Don't run while you get troops on them and who vex so that I their business. Because there's truth. It has nothing to do with no black and no black and no black. It's the damn leader. Lead from in front. We want to see you there because you come for the work, you say you can do the work. That's what the work is about. Dr. Rolly ever used to lead from the back. Don't come down giving up BS talk. I'm different, I'm brilliant. But all they want to do was, oh, let's say Dr. Rolly was doing, no, let's say so. But all they're doing members now. Nobody can talk about all this. Nobody can say nothing. They will face the raw to all this. So what are they talking about Dr. Rolly for? It's the same way. Oh, PNM this and PNM bad. We know wicked people suffering. I'm not PNM. They can. But Moody said the country good. Standard and Poor's, the IMF, everybody said the country on a right trajectory going. People walking, people eating, people doing what they have to do. But we are suffering. People suffering ever. All they go, no sufferation by. PNM would never fire 20,000 workers. Never. And when you know that, PNM will prefer to go along to make sure them workers get something than to done that program, boy. You see what they do with Caroni or what? They drag on until they couldn't drag no more. Because too much taxpayers' dollars, boy, was going into Caroni and nothing. And still come and pay Caroni workers the biggest retrenchment package ever in the Commonwealth. And they get land too. They come instant millionaire. Dr. Eric Williams bill points to something, making them millionaires across the Caribbean because with that Point Lisa said, land value went up. What are you talking about? People of Indian descent in this country get everything under the PNM. So much that some people as well, African people, ain't get nothing. You see me? I firmly believe to some extent too. We will leave that conversation there for next day. We are talking about the next side based on what Cosine was saying. There was grass cutters too. And they depended on the government at Trinidad and Tobago. Or they didn't have a problem with that. They want to call CEPEP workers grass cutters and they must go into business and all that. You fast and out of place. Again, as if I close my eyes and listen to your voice talking, I'll never believe you have a PhD or you have tertiary education. That's my opinion. When you say go-to man and you say economist, and you understand the pulling out of the economic system about 20,000 people just so. You don't understand what I would do to the economy? Waste of lecturing time, yes? People, let me call out all who I could see here. So I'm seeing Donna, Angela, Kadara, Emmeline, Melka, Merle, Zion, Jennifer, Nicole, Bernadine, Destiny, Roslyn, Sandra, let me see again, Mona, Kurt, Claire, Marilyn, let me see who again, Galen, Alison, Ophelia, Lionel, Susan, Tessa, let me see who again, Diamond, Helen Ross from Pleasantville, Marva or Mavis, Sweet Berries, Leslie, Glennis, who again, Candace. Hey, I'm feeling good today, boy. I got to call up the people. I have some names here. If I didn't call them, you will see. If you're listening, so Davison, Margaret, Yvette, I don't think I call Angela. Nothing I call Angela rather. I'm ready. Ginger, Lorna, Sarah, I call Emmeline, I call Kurt, Christopher, Erica, Keith, Charles, Anne, I call Ophelia, Andrew, Allison, I call Helen Russell, so we have Roxanne, I call Melka, I see Balti was there, I call Hadara, Ruth Finn, Dr. Lloyd Straker, Lucy, Sharon Steely, Alison Phillips, Germanas Lizda, Francia Pancho, E.A. Shorty, Augustus Cato, Victoria Upton, San Juan, and she old friend from one meeting. Yep. And I meet Brian today. Brian is my neighbor. Brian, they might drop in the vehicle. He said, use ginger. And I was like, eh. He said, use Jenny. I said, yes. He said, oh, what? Where are you going? I said, I'm going right this. He said, come, let me get a job. So I want to say, Brian, this evening, blessed evening. Thank you so much, my darling. Then we have Bantu. Did I see them? Yes? Bantu. Hi, Patricia. Elise, Joyce, Margaret, Angela Sobers, right? Who are in that? We will get you next year. Let me see all the across here. So COS, Patricia Batiste. Just let me go to the top, let me go to the top, let me go to the top, let me go to the top. Top. Look at people. I do this the wrong way, you know. Look at Ting. Wait, Ollie. Wait. I'm coming to the top. So let me see. So, okay. Annette, Sadina, Miriam, Mavis, Attila. Who again? I call Sadina already. David. Oh, God, it's Owen. Yes, I see Claire. Susan, I call Susan already. Raymond. Mr. Gibson. Lionel Clark. Let me see who down here now. Only give me a minute. Give me a minute. Look at people. Yeah, so all who I didn't call, love you all. Thank you all for always coming and hang out with me and giving me that support. Share the live. Subscribe to the Bounce Up channel. Deborah, you want to hear the goodness? Val, you know we keeping it real, you know. Me a perfect, you know. Keeping it real. That's what I could tell all you. Anon 0001. We keeping it real, right? It's a perfect. They could have been worse, but Jesus, Lord have mercy, and Mary and everybody in between. Under this UNC. And this hi Kim Thomas Farrell. This PNM right now. Let me be real. Hi, Mr. Coker. Let me be real now. Let me be real. Let us be real with this whole scene, right? There are real work to do. And the people who inside it, like they don't want to realize that the clique they want to have, in my opinion, that can't work. That can't work and it's not working. People feeling disgusted by Oli. If Oli realize that, so if a bubble Oli, let somebody take a pen and bust it, and Oli will see for themselves. The vibe says people disgusted with Oli. People just feeling disheartened. People feeling just to give up. People, it have no energy, no vibes, nothing. I don't know where Oli feel Oli getting vibes from. It ain't having it. Even when Oli about great is the pain, I'm great is the pain, it a song like, usually when I hear that, everybody, Robert, I hear the opposition, the political leader say, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, shall prevail. And like she was about to say to get out the state. People ain't even respond to it. Come on, man. Or they can't see that because they like she. Yeah, she's a nice woman. Nobody said no. She's a nice woman. But what that have to do with the political leader of the party or the opposition leader? We don't want nice. We want somebody could do the work. And she clearly cannot. They could say what they want. They can't train she now. She don't set in she ways already. There's a fact. Nothing wrong in that. That's just how it is. But let me be real and admit it and let me find some way to work with it instead of just lying to all yourself and lying to people now. So Dr. Rowley, again, congratulations to the youth man in Tobago who gets us spending of your own business. Congratulations again. To my member of parliament, Holy Faith. And to all those and them who doing all kind of nasty thing and whatever, don't worry yourself. I want you to listen to this Bob Marley. Yes, so people see you all on Friday, go spend a comment something, press something, you just say your Ginger and Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. If you want to get formal as Miss Jennifer Cedric, another edition that we thought we take. Let some Bob take you all out now. You know what us do it. Don't worry, I go get other kind of music, but Bob does have some kind of music that come in a vibe that is what I want to really hear because it does bring a message. So I want them to listen to that, the space in the teeth and all them things. Listen to this. Bless. Love all you. Have fun. Listen to this.
Why you can't find must have done something wrong. You must have done something wrong.